I get a lot of people asking me to play guitar all the time. And I'm like, I don't think you want to watch that, honestly. Right? Like, because I'm just going to mess around a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be such a stretch for this crowd. Messing around a lot?
Yeah.
Stretching? Yeah, I don't like stretching. It hurts.
Yeah.
No, messing. Messing.
Messing?
We are live.
We're live.
We are
We're
now.
live. Great.
Woo!
Great. I drank coffee today and I still can't get like upped. Like I'm like 4 shots of espresso into this
Am I drunk?
mocha.
Where's the freaking live chat? How do I want to see the people.
They collapsed it into the so that you could go to live casts chat.
Put this in the wrong place.
Where?
Live casts. I'm scrolling.
Chat. Yeah.
I just see restream on the right hand. Has it disappeared? You got to press the add button. Extra camera. Oh, you can have an extra camera.
Webcast.
Find live cast chat and then find the chat for the news inside of there.
And then make sure you
don't
pin that.
See that.
Where does it say live cast chat?
Yeah, I don't have live cast chat.
I pinged
mine
you.
was in the suggested.
Find your ping.
I don't see a
You
single
pinged
ping.
me.
Like,
what?
The ping's not working in the subform chats.
Now it's just under this magical thing called suggested.
Yeah.
What the heck? I don't
where
like
is
this.
it? Did you have to turn it on in settings or something?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. Ryan pinged me and then it magically popped up, but it was not there before.
Ping me.
It's like a nested chat.
It's super nice. All we have to do is just notify the entire audience one by one individually.
It's
nested.
nested. I see like restream messages from audience will display here, and then like chat on us with Discord.
It's not nested.
You have to go to the Discord specifically now because
go to what? Browse channels.
Cheeses have moved, and the restream bot won't connect to this new forum chat thing.
I was looking in. Okay, I was looking in restream, not in Discord.
Even in Discord, I still don't see it, other than just in suggested, which I don't know what that means. But
You go to infosec webcast live chat. Yeah, I got that.
Infosec. What? Webcast.
So infosec webcast and streams, and then there's live chat.
All I see under that is private webcast help. I see nothing else.
You want me to share my screen?
No. Just send me your computer. Just ship it.
All right.
He's going to send you a
address,
link.
Don't worry.
You just click on that and then...
Well, let me just say, whoever's idea this is, it was a bad idea, and I don't like change. I'd like to vote against this. Whoever did it, I don't like it.
I will say,
I cannot see that.
This is so fun to watch.
What Char posted or Chair, or I don't see that. Maybe it's because I'm magical roll or something, but I don't. Yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
even see where that posting is.
It's in the live webcast and chat.
This sucks. I want to go back. Undo.
Sort and view.
You trying to control Z that there?
Who do I have to yell at now? Should I just generically complain about the world?
Jason said, I think he said we're going to give this like 3 months.
3 months of not having this? No.
I understand its organization. It makes sense because like there's the news.
You do because it's invisible. It's not organized.
I can
at all.
see it. I don't know why you can't see
it.
it.
All organized.
I can
turn Discord off and on again. All right.
I can't get it to actually just expand out.
So when it pops up,
there's a trick for that.
The title and it'll.
Infosec webcast.
Oh, it does. Okay, good.
Is it dash?
You've got to
or
go to
plus?
the little Morse code dots and then open it in full view.
Streams. Yeah, I don't see that.
Follow this chat or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going on record. I do not like this change.
No, it's 2 extra clicks.
I'm an angry message to Jason right now.
No, it's too thoroughly hidden.
Dear Jason, this webcast is confusing. Sincerely,
I wonder. I'm wondering if you don't have like you don't have access to it because if you're not,
I'm not. No, I don't have the permissions.
Oh my.
That sucks.
That's weird though, because you have the staff role. You'll have to file
I'm
a
here.
JIRA
I
ticket
can see it, but I can't see
with
it.
Jason.
This is the only place I see it. Right here, suggested. Which
Wow.
this is just a magical button that appears, and if I close this button, it just comes back. So I guess
even though I just tagged you, you
click-
still can't get in?
No, he's
I'm
in.
I'm in. I cannot.
Oh,
If
there
it
he is,
doesn't
okay.
magically appear in suggested, I can't get back here. It's like I'm in a ephemeral state, like someone had to
So-
teleport me
So
here.
that little category with the red dot that says live cast chat, you can't click on that to see anything?
I can click on it, but it's not its own section. It's just called suggested. What is suggested? And I have
I've
the
never
option
even seen
to just
suggested.
I'm just gonna delete it. I just deleted it, and now it's gone forever. But then if someone tags me, it'll come back. Yeah, none of the chat shows up on YouTube.
Yeah, that doesn't work anymore because of this change.
Freaking. Because of this change?
I've
All
already
right, we're
said
going
that.
Because
back. We're going
yeah,
I've
the
already
restream
sent an
bot
angry
can't
message.
connect to this forum.
It will
I call
not
it. I don't know
work
what it's
for the
actually called, but
news.
it's a forum chat.
The audience
That's what I call it.
is specifically told me to send you this message. Also, they said, "We hope you don't slip on a banana."
How about all the webcasts can go in this cool forum, but the news gets its own special. We want news
we
chat.
might create our own channel just for the news.
Because we are special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it's
award
it's a
nominated.
separate beast.
Okay.
There you go.
We make a difference.
So now we just don't. Do I have to go to YouTube to see what the fun YouTube people say? And I also have to go
Yes.
to. So I have to watch myself to get the chat. Okay, hold on, here we go. YouTube.
You're gonna open the YouTubes too?
Yeah, I want to see what the people say. People say funny things on all the channels.
For
They
what it's
do,
worth,
they do.
you can pop out the YouTube chat in its own thing, can't you? I used to be
Yeah.
able to do that.
Or
I
those
will.
of us who have multiple devices.
YouTube people, we're not forgetting
out
about
chat.
you. I'm gonna have your chat right here, and now I can see these fun emojis I couldn't see before.
That sounded so wrong, Corey.
Why?
Really?
Oh, YouTube chat comes up in the chat thing in the right hand side.
Yeah, YouTube
Yeah, 'cause-
chat, we can see you. Discord,
So
we can't see you.
maybe It's that.
I will say, I can tell you right now, this is a failure because no one's in here. Our audience isn't here. Like, where's all the people sending the memes of the guy saying, "What the blank?" And it's like the guy with the blonde hair.
we need our audience. We need our hecklers.
I'm just
Our
gonna
joke-
keep sending angry messages. I'm just stacking them up. He's not even online. Like, he's not even here, and I'm just sending more messages. We don't have an audience anymore. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh,
Well, we
boy.
could always take it and actually pay attention to the news.
Jay Fox, I see you, Jay Fox. Thank you for messaging me.
Everyone, okay.
I can put
read your-
those on the
Ma-
screen.
Maybe
I'm I'm
maybe
acknowledging
it's time
your-
we just abandoned Discord. We're going full YouTube now. Know what?
All right. Yeah, all right. That's how it is.
Whatever.
But mine
whatever.
says
Oh,
sign
we
into
still get
chat.
LinkedIn.
Because for some reason I launched it in. But then it's funny because YouTube, like, if I post on YouTube, then everyone knows my YouTube username, and then it's like this playlist I created in 2007 with like Halo no scopes in it is going to be out there for everyone.
Why aren't you sharing that? I want to see that.
I mean, yeah, it has a lot of Linkin Park.
You say that like
You're
it's a bad
speaking
thing.
my language, all right?
Well,
Like,
well, they're back now, so that's
Listen,
okay.
I love a Michael Bay movie just as much as anybody else.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess
we just-
let's roll the finger. There's 3 of us here and no audience.
which finger? Get ready. We don't know which finger he's gonna roll.
3 of us?
It's too much. Well, look in the audience. It says Hackett 3. There's literally 3 people,
Oh, I need to get my hack.
and there's 7 people offline.
Okay, it's finger time.
I see 80 people watching on my stats, so there's that.
That's what
I
it
know,
says
but
on
I
the
missed
YouTube.
They just don't know how to
Discord.
chat with us, that's
Where's
all.
all the funny people?
Well, we had everything working. Why did they try to fix something that
They wanted to organize the chats based on streams because like the Like there's so many different things. They're testing it.
Right.
I was
All right,
there.
It's an
when
attempt to
I was
create
part of the discussion.
organization.
Right.
Let
But,
me
it's
like
engage
when you
my
clean your
inner old
closet
man
out, right? Like
and
it's
say
gonna
I
get
don't like change.
it's gonna get crazy. At first, you're gonna make a giant mess, but then when you get everything organized, you're gonna be like, "This is awesome." That's the idea, anyway.
All right, I'm gonna quote
No
you
one
on that.
cares about Discord.
Looking forward to it's awesome.
Andy K coming out with fire. I don't
Right
see any
now,
good
we're
memes in Discord though.
bad as
All right.
Starbucks and their
All right,
ransomware.
let's
Roll the
let's
finger.
get on with it.
Let's do this podcast. We spent 10 minutes complaining.
That's just
Only
normal.
10?
Talking about
Only
news.
10?
Hello and welcome to Black Hills Information Security's Talkin Bout News. It's December. Wait, it's not December. It's November 25th, 2024. This is kind of the Turkey Day edition for the US-based people. Everyone's got their recipes Googled, getting fire hazards ready to deep fry, all that good stuff.
My turkey is currently deep frosting right now. I'm doing.
Would you say your goose is cooked?
Goose is
Not yet.
cooked.
Everyone's goose is about to be cooked, if you know what I mean.
Just how much do you trust a recipe that you get from ChatGPT?
Well, I do put glue in my pizza sauce, so I think that's a nice. I think that adds texture, adds flavor. If you aren't putting Elmer's glue in your sauce, then you aren't really making a ChatGPT pizza.
At least he's not sniffing it anymore. That's a
No.
step in the right direction.
The Elmer's glue has a nice flavor to it. I think a lot of high-end elementary school restaurants are making stuff with that.
The aroma it gives off as it's cooking is like no other.
It really is. And then if you don't want the cheese to fall off, it will not fall off.
No.
All right, so let's get into some articles. I read the news this morning. I read every single thing that happened, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. I'm scared. Everything's different. I don't see the Discord, but we're pushing on. Google antitrust. Let's talk about this. I think this is like
okay.
Yeah, so
This is the headline.
yeah, I mean, this is one of many headlines, but
Oh,
the Google antitrust,
the big one.
the DOJ, Department of Justice for your non-Americans, which the Department of Justice is, well, I don't even know how to explain it. But basically they ruled, or like preliminary basically said, here's what we're planning on making you do. And the high level plan is to force them to sell Google Chrome, which I'm like, who's going to buy it? Like, is this just going to go to auction? Is Elon going to buy it? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared. They're potentially forcing them to sell Google Chrome, and then also basically forcing them to prompt users to choose their search engine instead of having it default to Google, preventing them from accepting payments for setting the search engine. It's kind of a pretty big deal. I will say, like, I'm assuming the DOJ is kind of gunning for the, outfield here. Like they probably won't actually get this, and the hearing isn't scheduled until April. So it's not like this is happening tomorrow. But the other funny thing is Google posted this little blog post, which is very short and is very salty and very funny. Or in my opinion, it's kind of just, it's basically like, this is unfair. You can't do this. And it's like, it's super short. It just says, we wish we were kidding. Like, or sorry, we wish we were making this up. So shockingly, the company that's being ruled against by the DOJ is against the DOJ's ruling. And, I mean, I guess we'll see how it shakes down. It's not going to happen till April, but, I mean, some of the changes they list in the Google post are kind of, I guess, seem mildly annoying to me, but not like, from an outsider's perspective, not that big of a deal. I don't know. It is funny though. They call out Mozilla. They're like, this would screw over Mozilla. It's like, I feel like they wouldn't have really bought it. They'd be like, don't put us in your blog post, dude. Yeah. I
think your question is, I saw some like speculations on how much it would cost, right? And it was in the billions. So like, no one would be able to afford to buy this. Like, who would actually
buy Google Chrome?
To buy Chrome. Who would be able to buy Chrome? And the only person that sadly comes to mind, of course, is Musk right off the bat.
I mean, I feel like Microsoft would buy it, right?
I don't. Well, then doesn't that just create the same problem if Microsoft buys it though? Like they don't have their search engine isn't as prominent, but it still just shifts the problem to the left.
Yeah.
Like then they own Chrome and Edge. Dear God.
No,
one
that
would.
would. There is no way that would fly. If the whole purpose is antitrust and breaking up a monopoly, then Microsoft and Google getting together and becoming a super that would not go, because now this of course is assuming that the DOJ is going to have teeth to enforce this kind of antitrust
Yeah. That's
stuff.
I mean, it is the DOJ. They definitely have the teeth.
So,
They broke.
my
They
question,
go ahead.
sorry, my question becomes like, how does that affect IT and cybersecurity specifically? Like, what is going to be the major fallout, or just paradigm shifts when it comes to if this does take place? Is this going to change how I do business? I guess it does, depending on the type of business I have, how much I rely on Google Ads and Chrome, maybe even Chrome or Android. They were saying that they wanted them to maybe even start selling Android as well or something.
Yeah.
And
They leave the door open for that. They don't. They
Yeah.
specifically say we're gonna make you sell Chrome. We might make you sell Android too.
But how does that affect us as far as like IT and cybersecurity goes? Like, in your opinions?
My first thought is if you couple away Chrome away from Google, right? Depending on who takes it over, do they have the security chops in order to secure it and keep it secured? Because Google has a bunch of money, they have Mandiant, they got a bunch of security stuff. Yeah, that stuff bubbles up every now and then, but hopefully the next company actually cares about that and moves forward with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I will say my gut here is that it's like a lot of things where if you take away the corporate funding, the product gets worse, but it gets more privacy focused. Like a company pouring billions of dollars into a browser is not going to happen unless they can profit off of it. Unless they can like make money from either selling ads, selling the rights to the browser, or selling the data that they're collecting out of it from telemetry. But I don't see like an open source browser is not ever going to be equivalent in features and, like you said, security to just like a company pouring billions of dollars into this product, which I don't know how. I mean, who knows how much they've actually spent developing Chrome, but it seems to be one of their flagship products. So probably a lot.
The Onion. All right, I'm calling it now. The Onion buys Chrome.
I'll buy it. Sure, why not?
Sure, it's only $1 billion. I mean, I think that's the same with Android. Like, who's going to buy it? It's just going to be another monopoly. The only companies that are just bopping around with $1 billion in cash are other monopolies. Like, it's not, like it's either going to be who's going to buy it? Samsung, Microsoft, or like another one of these top
Exxon,
huge Oracle, Exxon. Try Exxon Chrome.
Exxon Chrome, man.
I would really like Disney to come in and purchase it.
No, I don't want it to
throw
be
some
like
Imagineers
Mickey.
at Chrome. How can we make it funner?
The Mickey Mafia would be better at policing inappropriate content.
We wouldn't be able to download anything then, man. Never mind.
And for signing up,
There's
they
a
get
downside to
the right to
everything,
sue them by
sorry.
using their product.
You downloaded Chrome. You lost the right to sue us.
That's right.
Someone in YouTube said the Chrome estimated price is $20 billion, which is even. I mean, that's like, I believe that though. I mean, it's at least it's a majority of the browsing market. It's something like 50-something%, so or even higher. I don't know. If you look at Chrome derivatives, it's definitely higher, but I don't know. Anyway, that won't be decided until April. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, DOJ is going to go hard. Google's going to go hard. It might. I mean, I'm thinking back to things like Microsoft. It'll probably end up with a consent decree with very minor changes of like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. Probably not.
I vaguely remember that Microsoft case. I was a bit younger when that happened, but I fairly remember it taking quite a while before they came down to a decision on how they were going to figure that out and break it up. So it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Nope. Yeah, your Chrome is safe for now, and all the Chrome derivatives. Although, I will say there have been some weird changes to Chrome that like they're talking about. Oh, we'll just get rid of cookies. It's like, whoa, hold on, dude.
Well, they wanted to do some weird like, we'll do cookies for you, and that way your privacy never gets out to the entity that's trying to collect. we'll handle that and we'll take all that information. Weren't they talking about that?
Also, do you want to save your
Cookies as a
password?
service.
You want to save your password, please?
Yeah.
Just give me your password.
If you
No,
help.
just save it. Just save it. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So I feel like, I mean, I just listed a bunch of articles I thought was interesting. Does anyone have one they're like, oh my God, I want to talk about this so bad?
The stunt hack.
Before we go
Yeah.
on,
What's
to
stun hack?
articles, I am
The
kind of curious.
Wi-Fi
how many people are
nearest neighbor.
feeling the impact of the outage with Microsoft and all?
Oh, that's,
How
I
many
don't know.
people in our audience? I'm just curious how much pain are they experiencing today because of that?
That
I
said, I
guess
couldn't
if you're
send
having
email.
Microsoft issues, let us know. Yeah,
The
the stun
stress
hack.
level is probably down because you're not getting any emails.
I mean, he's
Oh.
not wrong.
I mean,
The
I don't
nearest
even
neighbor
know.
thing. Okay, so the
Yeah,
nearest
the nearest neighbor
attack
thing
was
is worth
pretty
talking
cool.
about. So
Yeah.
okay, so I don't actually think this is stunt hacking. I don't think this is
I
stunt
think
hacking at all.
Yeah, it's not.
I
It's
think it's-
definitely real world hacking. I just say stunt hacking because it's actually something cool
It's-
that we don't get to hear a lot.
But it's
Right.
actually cool. Stunt hacking is like, oh, we did something that's anyway. Basically, this is being dubbed the nearest neighbor attack, which I think is a great description of how it works and how it's cool. So basically, there's a Russian EPT, gruesome launch or gruesome larch or whatever. Not really one I've heard of, but probably the same one as before. This is an investigation conducted by Volexity, which that sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not personally
Volatility.
familiar. Volatility. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Forensics firm. Basically, the APT was hacking into the neighbors of their target organization. And they would hack into the neighbors, and then they would connect from the neighbor's computer to the Wi-Fi of the target organization using stolen credentials. So basically, it's kind of, I joked with my team that it's the world's most complicated MFA bypass, because it's basically like, you know, we have these credentials. We don't have a way to use them because they are appropriately protected with MFA, which we find that a lot in penetration testing, at least on my team. We get credentials a lot, but we can't really use them for anything impactful beyond like cloud enumeration and other things. So basically, they would connect to, you know, hacked computers that were near enough. My biggest question is, how do you do that? Do they just hack thousands of computers and hope one of them's nearby, or do they actually like
They figured
figure
out the company.
Yeah.
They figured out the company who I think they said they attacked 2 companies.
They said there were multiple
there were
organizations that were close
yeah.
enough in vicinity to
Right.
gain
Yeah.
Wi-Fi access to their
So
system.
right now, you know, it was a company based in a city.
Yeah, I think it's DC.
Yeah, it couldn't
so
have
I
been
listened
in
to
Des Moines,
this-
Iowa.
I listened to this talk at, well, I streamed CyberWarCon, which is where they talked about this, which was really, really cool. So they originally came in, they used OSINT to figure out the companies that were around their initial target. They had less security, hacked them,
Right.
looked for a computer that was physically plugged into the network with an Ethernet cable,
Yep.
and that had their Wi-Fi open, then scanned the Wi-Fi, saw the Wi-Fi, connected in, and then did a bunch of other stuff too. I will admit, once they were in though, they did do a couple like lesser crazy attacks, like the reg save stuff. If you guys scroll down a little bit more, which is super easy to detect and like obviously screams bad things. But that initial infection was pretty cool, I will admit.
Yeah. I mean, I was immediately thinking, how can we emulate this in anti-SOC? Like, I was like, we just mail drop devices to their corporate offices and like have them be in the mailroom with like a Raspberry Pi and a battery and like use that? Because there's, like I said, we encounter this scenario a lot where we have good credentials, but they're protected by MFA and we can't get internal access. MFA on Wi-Fi seems kind of unheard of. So using yeah.
I was thinking I haven't logged into a Wi-Fi in years, like at a
Right,
corporation.
right.
Like my host just automatically logs in, and I figured it's through certificates and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, how does that work? I had to do a bunch of research, and I'm like, I don't think having login Wi-Fi with creds should even be set up, right? It's
certificate
definitely
only?
confusing. Yeah, like how,
Yeah.
but it is something that
Is that the
at least
normal implementation? Like, did you dig into your own implementation? How is it set up?
in my I don't know. I haven't been to my home office in long enough where, but as a SOC analyst, like the Wi-Fi stuff, because of course we have usually you have your private Wi-Fi, and then there's almost always a guest Wi-Fi on the network, and the guest Wi-Fi is just randomly people connecting, and there's usually false positive alerts coming through there all the time.
Yeah.
You try to track it back down to a MAC address and maybe ban them, but like most of the time, stuff connecting into Wi-Fi is not a very good alert. So seeing this, it does scare me. Like how would I build a detection based off of this?
I mean, I think it'd be a good. I think you're right that there are probably a lot of gotchas along the way of like 802.11x, you know, that kind of stuff, or 802.1x, like, you know, NAC-ish stuff, certificate-based auth. But I will say, I do think a lot of wireless authentication will fail back to CRED auth, I think. But I don't know. I just want to try it to see how it works, because it sounds difficult, but unlike true stunt hacking, actually worth trying, in my opinion, as a cool MFA bypass. And I guess arguably Wi-Fi is MFA because it requires certificates. So
if it does,
I still say it's a lot of effort to go through to try and make attribution more difficult.
No, it's not for that. It's not for attribution.
I know,
it's literally.
I think it was initial.
But also coming at them sideways.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's more about getting access to an account than it is about attribution. But anyway,
sarcasm.
There's more Palo Alto 0 days, as always.
Shocker.
I don't even know if they're really worth talking about, because I think we already kind of talked about them. But basically, Palo Alto Networks is kind of panicking and running around trying to fix people's firewalls. That one might be old.
This was an update from last week, because last week they said they had a 0 day that they were unsure of how it was being exploited. And then like this week, this came out, and I think this was we figured it out. Here's a patch. Or here's
I think that's, yeah, they're basically, you know, highly advising people to patch, because that's the world we live in, where you just beg people to patch and hope they do it.
Please. We all know that works.
Please, sir, I'll do anything. If you just patch your systems, it would be amazing.
Please, God bless us, every patch.
You want me to patch? I'll never patch. You can't do anything to make me patch this system. I'd rather die in a hole than put up patching.
Okay. Let me counter that with 2 words: 0 day. Yeah.
You shut
All right. Let's. Okay.
I'm going to pause you guys for a real-time follow-up on the Discord gate. We have
Discord gate.
We have a new Discord chat channel set up already.
What?
We have a new channel called The News Chat.
Restream's working though. As long as Restream's working.
Because it's plugged into the news chat.
It's the old style chat channel, which Restream works with the old style chat channel.
All right, we're back. Everything's normal. No one's patching though, just to be clear. We're not patching anything. Did everyone read the CISA Red Team write-up?
I read some of it. It was pretty interesting that they were unable to get in through normal means, like through password spraying or credential stuffing or whatever. But, look at this. There's a web shell from when we did another vulnerability scan of some kind or assessment. We'll just use that. I thought that was pretty interesting that was still lurking around. You guys doing pen tests every day, it kind of points out how often or how hard do you go after your teams to say, so we're cleaning up, right? We're doing a really good job of removing artifacts, right? Because we don't want
as a blue teamer, that is the hardest thing to do, and I hate all the red teamers because they never do it.
Well, okay, so I will say, like, I did see this and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so bad. But I also noticed that they still deployed their own web shell. Like, they deployed their own web shell, then they found someone else's web shell and were like, we'll just use that. Which, by the way, reading between the lines, I'm betting money it was Telerik. Like, I've hacked Telerik so much, I'm like, I bet you it was Telerik. But yeah, so basically, cleanup is an important part of pen testing, I would say. Also, if not cleanup, securing the web shell. Like, it shouldn't just be, even if you leave it there, it should at least be password protected. But I guess I would say, theoretically, the organization would have known that the pen testers did this. The pen testers might not have had the permissions to be able to clean up their own web shell. Sometimes you can deploy things, but you can't delete them. So I guess I would say, like, it's kind of a dual responsibility. The pen tester should clearly report, here's a list of artifacts to clean up, but also the company should be reading the pen test report and saying, hey, they deployed this web shell on this web server. We need to make sure we go and find that and delete it. But
I will say, just looking at the graph of this report alone, the web shell then going to a misconfigured NFS share, there is a really, really easy detection for that. That is super high credibility, where you're just looking for a Linux server mounting mounting that share, and it never, almost, at least in several networks I've seen, it never happens, and highly suggest anybody.
Well, it says it already was mounted.
Oh, was it already? Oh, the MS
basically,
oh, no, never mind.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming, but they configured the options to have no root squash, which you would need
mounted on
to
Linux
configure
server.
the file system options.
The article also says the assessed organization discovered evidence of the red team's initial activity, but failed to act promptly regarding the malicious network traffic through its DMZ or challenge much of the red team's presence in the organization's Windows environment. So they did detect them, and they were just like, whatever. What are you going to do?
Well, there was a whole cat and mouse throughout the whole write-up that was really interesting. That was like, they were detected, and then they were like partially removed, and they had to fall back to like one or two Windows servers, but then they were able to reestablish access everywhere else. So, like, I also, reading between the lines on this one, which I did a lot of, it's like they're like, we told the client about this critical vulnerability, and then they started patching things or, remediating things immediately. And then like they came back, like it was a whole fun, like reading between the lines of the interaction with the client and the small pieces they put in the pen test. I think overall it's a pretty strong pen test report. It's a pretty strong write-up. I think it's a good read if you're interested in pen testing. It's, I also like that they, specifically say like we're using commercial, it was interesting. They said they were using domain fronting. I was like, I think we got rid of domain fronting a long time ago, right? Maybe they're just talking about using a CDN.
Team used domain fronting to disguise outbound traffic.
I know. I'm like, they use domain fronting. Like domain fronting has been like not a thing for a long time, but I don't know. Maybe
I've seen it tried by other red teams.
I'm like, is it back? Are we back to domain fronting? like I don't know. Anyway. It could be like a pen test from like 7 years ago. They're just now publishing it. Like, I genuinely do think that the rules for the government in pen testing and publishing a pen test result like this there's got to be a lot of red tape. Also, the sun is just shining directly on my face right now. There we go. I can't see anything.
With that angle of sun, we should be able to tell exactly Corey's location, and by now we can't look. I have to look at the angle coming in
with your hands.
For security reasons, I'm going to have to ask the sun to promptly turn off, please. I'm going to need to patch the sun. All right. So
did you read the attack on Finastra? This one kind of hits close to home for me.
I didn't. Run me through it. Give me the.
All right. So there isn't a lot of data on it just so far, but we do know that they have experienced a breach, and there was a post on breach forums, I believe, of some leaked data already, right? So
SFTP, what is it? Move it again?
So we have one of our Alex actually chimed into chat, and he believes it was like an IBM server. I didn't do a gnarly amount of research on it because I don't have to do that anymore. IBM.
So is this Info Stealers? Did someone leak Info Stealers of an?
No,
SFTP
it's believed
thread?
to Alex believed it affected an IBM Aspera, being the tool that for exfiltration. Maybe not. Anyways, the crazy part thing though is like Finastra being a fintech. What a lot of people don't realize is there's a bunch of these little companies that really connect the whole financial organization and allow banks to transfer from one to another. You think banks all have the same format, right? And they're able to transfer money, and none of them do. All of them have completely different formats. None of them can talk to each other. There's stuff like Swift that allows some transfers like that, right? That is heavily regulated. But most banks need a middleman, or like Finastra, or there's organizations who will then hire Finastra in order to connect all of their bank accounts. So think about what was the Intuit like personal money tracker that closed down?
Mint.
Mint.
Think about Mint for corporations that have like 50 bank accounts across nations, right?
I
So
see.
they're able to transfer and look at money at all of these different bank accounts and easily go through. So that's what Finastra kind of does and is able to transfer. So seeing something like a breach like this is kind of weird because they're not an upfront company. There's a little bit in the background providing this service.
It says, so it says the data is from their ESB. What the heck is an ESB? Is that like should I not have said that on the news? Does that mean something bad? Extra special box? Is that what
there
it
was an
is?
unpatched IBM business process manager that made the initial compromised creds so much worse. That's a quote from Alex Bellevue, if you don't know it. Bellevue. So Alex does work for a fintech company, and I know probably had to research this during the attack. So too bad he can't be on here because he got in a car crash. But
Someone
We
data
should
breached
probably
his front
explain that
bumper?
a little bit. He hit one of 4 deers,
he hit a
for
deer.
deer.
Yeah.
but he's fine.
A little
Uh,
achy, but
he's-
he's
he'll be
taken care
fine.
of.
He'll be okay. Yeah.
I mean, obviously this would have been solved if I'm segueing. This would have easily been solved if they were regulatory compliant with I can't find the article. The CFPB. The CFPB, everyone knows the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will keep you safe from all hacks. What the article I'm talking about is the digital banking apps, like the or digital
Consumer
payment apps
fin-
like Cash App and Venmo. Apparently, the CFPB, which I didn't know they existed until this article came out, they finalized a rule to supervise the largest non-bank companies offering digital funds transfer. I guess it's not really new, but it's basically them saying we are going to start enforcing things on these apps, including basically fraud, privacy. The other one that was funny is they call it debanking, which I've never heard that term before, but I thought was pretty funny. It's like you are being debanked, which apparently is like, locking out someone from their app or preventing someone from accessing the app could have like financial impacts to them. So
Was there any mention of there was a recent financial tech organization that failed and a bunch of people lost money? I know CoffeeZilla reported on it. Do you know what I'm talking about? No,
I don't know what you're talking about, but theoretically, I don't know. It does say they issued a report about how funds are not protected by federal deposit insurance and advise consumers to regularly move their funds to an insured account. So basically, they're just kind of imposing their vibe on digital banking apps and basically turning them into regular banking apps. So
Isn't Zelle or something? Isn't that like Wells Fargo? Don't they have that app?
I always this is like
Zelle-
become a thing in my personal life because everyone's like, "Do you have Venmo?" And I'm like, "No," because why would I use an app to send people money when it's already built into your bank and it's called Zelle? And they're like, "I don't have Zelle," and I'm like, "Everyone has Zelle.
Yeah.
Like you do have Zelle, you just
Right.
don't know it." So I mean, I don't know. I did a lot of research back in the day on like scraping Venmo because for a while Venmo's default setting for all transactions was visible to the public. So for a long time back in the day, I was scraping Venmo, and people would post ridiculously specific things on their transactions. They'd be like rent for, and then enter the address of their house they're paying rent for on Venmo. It's like, oh, that's great from a privacy perspective. Yeah. So basically, these digital banking apps have a history of bad privacy, bad, they're not insured. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is kind of, cracking down on them. So I guess that's probably a good thing, but maybe it'll make it Venmo less cool if it's, just a regular bank.
So the company I was talking about was called Synops. SYNAPS.
Synops.
SYNAPSE, right?
Oh,
so they were a
Synapse.
fintech. Synapse. Damn, dude. Matt, I can't read. I just read logs. I don't read words.
Like these purple crayons, they are delicious.
So I read about this a while back, and pretty much it was a financial organization where you'd like store all your money with them, and then they would lend your money out to banks in order to make you more money. That was the overall how I absorbed it, and pretty much they went under. And was it them or was it Yada that went under? They went under, and a bunch of people lost like hundreds of thousands of dollars because no one kept track of their books.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely guess that this is around that.
It is kind of crazy to me. Like, I don't even understand the model. Like, what is the tech bro pitch? We're sitting at a very expensive bar in Palo Alto, and you're going to make a digital banking app. What is the pitch? We're going to lose. How do you even make money? By selling the transaction, like the data? Like, I truly do not understand how you can just be like, yeah, we're a payments app. I guess you can collect money. Who can you even collect money from? If someone's taking commercial payments using the app, all of them are free. People won't use it unless it's free. I don't get how these apps even make money other than, I guess, selling the data.
I'm surprised they weren't regulated beforehand.
There
right?
are transaction fees along. Like I'm looking at Venmo. It says Venmo makes money through a variety of methods, including transaction fees. Venmo charges a fee for transactions made with a credit card or business, typically around 1.9 to 2.9 of the transaction amount.
So it's normal bank stuff. That's just every bank. It's like, oh, we take Venmo for payments. Well, do you also take Visa? Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't really get it. But anyway.
ChatGPT has a good description on this.
We talked about nearest neighbor. We could talk about, let's see. I guess there's follow-up for T-Mobile.
Oh, yeah, they caught one.
Yeah, so I feel like this almost is following like this weird villain arc of T-Mobile, where somehow they managed to publish this news article that just says T-Mobile managed to thwart a data breach before it occurred. It's like, okay, so they've gotten breached 9 times in a row, but they also didn't get breached 1 time in a row.
They need the win, okay?
I was about to. This has definitely got the feel of like a blue teamer, right? Like everyone talks about the times we were breached. No one talks about the times we protected from the breach.
But T-Mobile's PR is going to talk about the times they prevented a breach. So basically, Bloomberg published a news article saying, T-Mobile was able to detect suspicious activity within its infrastructure early, with hackers only gaining access to a limited number of devices, so they still got hacked. And it was just part of reconnaissance activity. So they still got hacked. So I guess I'm just like, here's how I'm reading between the lines. And this is all speculation, and my opinions represent my own and not that of Black Hills Information Security. But here's what happened. They got hacked again, and the CEO of T-Mobile called up the CEO of Bloomberg and said, listen, we're going golfing tomorrow. I'm going to take you out for a round at whatever fancy golf club I belong to. And then you're going to publish an article about how we didn't get hacked, because I swear we didn't get hacked again. And then now there's an article about it. So
seems reasonable.
Plausible. Definitely plausible.
I feel like there's a few articles in here that are talking about hacking home routers, or like not just home routers, but what is it? Zycel or Zy? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Zytel routers. There's one, the D-Link one is an article that's actually in the list. So D-Link is basically warning consumers, which I feel like I should be scared if D-Link starts talking to me. Like in my head, they don't talk. Like, when has D-Link ever talked to anyone? Has anyone ever talked to D-Link? In my mind, they don't have a lot of public posts. They just exist and no one messes with them, and they don't say anything. But apparently D-Link is now warning customers, replace your end-of-life VPN routers. There's a critical RCE vulnerability that is discovered and is not going to be fixed. Basically, it doesn't have a CVE yet, but it affects DSR 150, DSR 150N. Let's Google that. I bet you everyone knows exactly what that looks like just in your head. Yep, it looks exactly like...
It's not going to be fixed? They said that?
It's not going to be fixed.
Is it end-of-life product or something?
Yeah. They've been end of life as of May 2024. It affects this legacy router, which have reached their end of life. They're not supported. They do say third-party open firmware, aka DDWRT, may exist, but we don't officially support or recommend this. And using it voids a warranty, which I don't know how there's a warranty with no security updates.
Yeah, well, you don't support the product anymore anyway, right? It's end of life.
I know. I do think it's funny that they did throw that shout out to install. I'm assuming it's DDWRT. It might be something else. At least when I was installing alternate router firmwares, that was the kind of leading one.
Tomato. What was it? Tomato was another.
Oh yeah, Tomato. That one was good too. This is back in the days of like everyone had the same SSID and it was Linksys. Like everyone was Linksys.
It was great obfuscation though. Right? Like, yeah, which one is my SSID?
It was.
I don't know.
It was anonymous. Now it's like, you can tell someone's exact location based on their Wi-Fi network.
You just
That's a
write
good point.
FBI van on it.
FBI van is probably the next version of LinkedIn or Linksys, if we're being honest. That is like the next most highly used SSID.
Let's name mine Cox or T-Mobile or something.
But then they have like random
With a
IDs,
random string
right?
digit.
Yeah, it has. You have to pick a random ID. Just go pick whatever your neighbor says. That won't get confusing at all. Just merge your two networks into one network. No one will know whose Apple TV they're playing.
Sharing, kids.
All right. So on a good news, I guess I'd never heard of this cybercrime website, PopeyeTools, but it was seized by the U.S. This week. They also unsealed charges against 3 of the admins, Abdul Ghaffar, Abdul Sami, and Javed Mirza, or I don't know how to say that name. I'm sorry. They've also confiscated $283,000 worth of crypto. This was, I guess, a marketplace for cybercrime. Basically breach forums, but not.
Very, very early sales. I was very surprised. I had never heard of this one either. And for it being up so long, I think, what they say, since 2017? Was that what it was?
That, and also that it had an estimated revenue of
2016.
$1.7 million.
So I feel like that isn't a lot, but maybe
No?
I'm wrong.
I guess that's only
no.
like 1 Bitcoin nowadays.
Right? They kept under the radar for a while if they've been up since 2016.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, basically, it was a ClearNet site, though. It was just PopeyeTools.com and PopeyeTools.uk. So basically, these were just like, you didn't have to go to the dark web. You could just go to this. I also think it's hilarious that they called it Operation Shipwrecked.
Because of Popeye.
Yeah.
Sailor.
Yep. And they put like the little Popeye behind bars. Is Popeye public domain, or does Disney somehow still own
Here's
it?
what I want to know. I want to be in that get together and like, we're gonna name our stuff. What should we do? I mean, we've got like Flaming Dragon. Nah, that's not right. How about, I don't know, like Space
Girl with the
Pioneer?
dragon tattoo.
Nah. Popeye. That's where it's at. Popeye's a badass.
Oh, you mean why they named this site?
Yeah, it's just a weird name to call it Popeye. Like,
Yeah,
what was
totally.
happening in their lives that was the
You're
thing
right.
they came up with?
They should have just called it Kali Linux. No, I'm just kidding.
They were all big fans of spinach. That's why.
They were all they're from Pakistan, so I don't know. There is some pretty good spinach dishes in that region.
That is true.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like following threat actors online for a while, they do come up with the funniest names, and sometimes I just can't help but laugh. There's a certain it's like that old school internet swagger that just makes me laugh. It's like, their name is like Daddylicious or whatever. They hacked the FBI or something.
The DOD one. What was the DOD?
US DOD.
The US DOD, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. Like, you go on breach forums and it's like US DOD breached this site, and it's like their logo is literally like the DOD logo. You're like, how do you paint a target on your back? Hold my beer, or sorry, hold my balls energy drink. Yeah, these kids are all like 12.
What's funny is somebody from Popeye's Chicken is trying to I gotta buy some tools for my kids. PopeyeTools.com. What the hell is this?
What? No, our deep fryers have been seized by the Department of Justice.
What's happening?
I just wanted a spatula, dang it.
Yeah, damn you, DOJ.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Speaking of crypto, you got to talk about the Raz.
Talk about the what?
The Raz. The
Just hit
Razzle.
us with an article. Hit us. I'll take another article. Oh no, Razzlekhan's going to prison?
Going to
Oh
prison.
man.
The Gator of Wall Street? Or the Crocodile of Wall Street? Or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, this is a long follow-up. This Heather Morgan was sentenced, which if you haven't seen she makes really good music. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, I highly recommend it. Just search Razzlekhan on YouTube. I apologize in advance. I would recommend muting halfway through the video, and not even halfway, maybe 10 seconds in. Anyway, basically, these are the people, her and her partner stole. Who did they hack? Was it Bitfinex? I think it was Bitfinex.
Yeah, it was Bitfinex. Good call.
So basically the story was they hacked Bitfinex and they stole a ridiculous amount of money, like, I don't know, $200 million or some insane amount. Then they kept the private key where all the money was. Guess where they kept it? Google Drive, as you do. That's the safest place for a private key with $200 million on it. And then I guess they were, hacked or figured out, indicted, and then now they've been charged. What was her
18 months.
18 months.
18 months?
18 months for stealing 71 million at the time. Here's the crazy part. That 71 million at the time is now worth almost 11 billion though.
Yeah.
That's the freaking crazy part. But only 18 months. So if you're trying to be a cyber criminal, kids, just steal Bitcoin. It's less time if you get caught.
I will say it was multiple people that perpetrated the hack. I don't know if her partner has been sentenced yet, but I think he was kind of the mastermind and she was more the rapper. But I mean, I could be wrong. Basically, 18 months is only long enough to get more street cred as a rapper. So, yeah. Let's hope her music gets significantly better over the next 18 months.
They both pled guilty.
Yeah, we can
I
follow
mean, they pled
that up.
guilty.
He's serving 5 years.
Yeah, there you go. So I think, 5 years. And I will say they had all the money, like they really got nowhere from it. And of course, we joked about it years ago, but yeah, they sold the rights to Netflix, and they probably made more money off selling the rights to Netflix than they.
I thought there's some legal thing where if you committed a crime, you are not allowed to make money off said crime.
What?
Yeah, like
That's the whole point.
if you're a murderer, right, and you're in prison, you cannot make money off your story. There's
really?
Something
certain crime.
Yeah,
I didn't know
swear
that.
there's a law around that.
There should be, though.
I mean,
I don't know if there is, or maybe it only applies to certain crimes, but there definitely should be, because this almost seems like an insurance policy against getting caught. It's like, okay, as long as we're interesting enough to be a documentary, that's our insurance policy to pay our legal fees and our, restitution and all that stuff. Like, I don't know.
The Son of Sam law.
Son of Sam? Isn't that a video game? No, that was Serious Sam.
Yeah, Sam Berkowitz was the 44
The
caliber
law
killer
aims
in
to
the
ensure
70s.
that criminals do not financially benefit from their notoriety of their offense, such as through a book deals, movie rights, or paid interviews.
Well, clearly it doesn't either. Okay, either they didn't make money off of it, or this somehow doesn't apply to this crime because they are, I don't know.
Maybe it's their LLC, right? Like they told it.
Crime Consulting LLC is profiting handsomely, but not them. Yeah.
It's like the Pirates Bay. No one's really running it. It's just running itself.
Yeah, it's fine. Although people did go to jail for that one, but anyway.
They did.
Let's talk about Defender. So this is like a weird article that I kind of felt like I was getting drunk while reading it, because it's kind of like, so the article is Microsoft Defender is not enough anymore. This malware gets around it. But then the article goes on and basically just explains why they were actually using they were actually using Malwarebytes. And I'm like, wait, what is it? Defender, Malwarebytes? They also mention Bitdefender. It's not really that big of an article, but I guess is the public perception. The reason I want to talk about it is because I want to talk about like the public. Do the regular people in the world think that Defender is blocking them from all security threats or Malwarebytes? Like, do people actually think if you download free Malwarebytes that it's going to block all malware?
I believe so. From what I have talked to people, right? Like most of them do not know that Microsoft Defender is at least halfway decent. Like I think it's pretty good. It's blocked
it's
me
like
from
that
writing
10
malware,
years old.
right?
Like the perception is old. Yeah.
Yeah, the perception of it's old. So like my mom be like, should I install Norton? And I'm like, no, do not install Norton. I won't ever be able to get it off. We'll just reinstall the OS. No, but
yeah.
I still think that is a very common thing of definitely that past generation of having to install an antivirus. It's still there and it's still fresh. Especially there's a lot of
help
ads
windows
and stuff around
still
it now
there.
too. At least on the internet, right? Like all the
Yeah.
AVs and stuff like that.
I don't know. It's super weird to me. Number one, that consumer AV is even a thing that it exists, because every product, every popular operating system comes with a built-in native antivirus program that tends to work pretty well. And I feel like I've been telling people for years to just use Defender. Not that it can't be bypassed. I mean, I feel like that's also something you tell people when you give them this information. You say, just use Defender, but also think before you click.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I started working at BHIS and we were using an AV in addition to Defender, and then got an upgrade, and I said, okay, so we used to use this. Do I need to install? They go, nope, Defender's fine. Like, are you sure? Because, I mean, I grew up in the days when you had to have a third-party AV. You had to have something because operating systems didn't come with protection back then.
My thought was I thought all these AVs were free because the AV companies were collecting telemetry, right? And then being able to create better signatures, or at least have better information.
But that's Defender now. Defender has
Defender
the
now, yeah,
ultimate.
definitely.
They have the biggest data set of anyone on the planet.
They also are plugged into the OS probably a little bit more than everybody else, right? As we saw with CrowdStrike, right? I would imagine Defender's developers have a better understanding because they are directly connected to Microsoft. At least.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think like it was an interesting article. I don't want to discredit the researcher at all. That basically a YouTuber put together a thing that like runs through the malware itself. The malware itself was kind of cool. It actually did persistence via a Chrome extension, which I thought was kind of neat. But what I would say is like they did like the person installed a software that they got from Telegram. There's so many red flags here. Like they installed a software they got on Telegram, and then
It was from a .ru. They were like, what's the problem?
It's fine. It
looks amazing.
It's Adobe Acrobat Pro. I mean, what's the problem?
Oh, it's so crazy. Every now and then you'll see those news articles that are like, oh, so many people are getting hit with malware through, they're trying to download Photoshop for free, some pirated version of Photoshop, and lo and behold, it has malware in it. Crazy.
Yep.
Surprise!
Yeah, piracy. Even in the world of like infosec, we see a lot of people at home that get into piracy and then end up infecting themselves with info stealers. Even like contractors, like code or other like contractors of like enterprise companies will have the same problem, because like if you're a contractor and you need Photoshop, every dollar you pay for Photoshop, which it's ridiculously expensive, comes out of your salary, right? So I don't know.
Chrome's pretty good at like blocking downloads if you have it properly set up. Like there's been multiple times where I just have to completely turn off all the security functions in Chrome and then everything else in order to get some cool samples or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head the specifics of how this one was deployed, but I think it was like obtained from Telegram. Like I think they got the binary from Telegram.
Do they have Telegram installed on their computer?
The binary
source
from
forged
Telegram, the .ru domain for the download, which, by the way, are we going to talk about the request Microsoft has made to have Trump push it harder against Russian attacks?
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that one.
I mean, we can talk about it. It's in the political section.
Not politics.
I mean, I will say, like, okay, they're not. Are they specifically asking Trump? It's not like Microsoft made a post that says, "Dear Lord Trump." Basically, this is I guess Brad Smith, who's Microsoft's vice chair and top legal officer, told the Financial Times, which we're talking about the Financial Times here. Here's what they said: "I hope that the Trump administration will push harder against nation-state cyber attacks." So it's not like they said, "Dear Trump," from Microsoft.
Goody. This is what I get.
He didn't even ask Trump. He told them.
Yeah, he literally all he said was, "I hope Trump pushes harder against nation-state cyber attacks. We should not tolerate the level of attacks we're seeing today." I guess you could take a political spin on this and be like, "What? oh, we should not tolerate. Are you saying Biden tolerated these attacks? But like, I don't know. I think it's I think it's
heard-
more just Microsoft being like, hey, nation state bad. Like it's I don't know.
The way they're gonna protect us from like North Korean remote workers is, I heard they're gonna bring everyone. They're gonna remove remote work, right? They're bringing everyone
Return to
in.
office.
Return to
globally?
office to protect against North Korean foreign workers.
Well, I will say
I
that
suppose that's a
Trump's
solution.
gonna have a real problem when he has to return from Mar-a-Lago to the White House. But anyway, yeah, that's as close as we're gonna get to politics. But yeah, so the other one I wanted to talk about was the leak on the Andrew Tate site.
Ooh.
So basically, someone breached Andrew Tate, which if you don't know who that is, good for you. I'm glad. He's basically kind of a self-described misogynist, and I'm not joking. That's how he describes himself. But basically, someone hacked his online university where people were paying monthly $50 a month to be a misogynist, apparently, which seems like something you could just do for free. But I guess the reason I'm like, I think it's interesting is it's hacktivism motivated. I feel like the risk here is to the people who are usernames, who have accounts, who have like, I guess like it's such a personalized thing of like, let's hope people use their burner emails or whatever, but it's just, I don't know, like nothing is safe. You should assume this kind of stuff gets breached. But
This becomes the new Ashley Madison, right? Where you
Yeah,
win the
like-
Andrew
Same
Breed.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But
What's you guys'
I don't
take on like signing up for, forget Andrew Tate or Ashley Madison, all this stuff, just regular, you got to sign up for a bunch of different stuff. And some people like, they're very much about the privacy or security and say, I just create a new email address for every registration. What's your take on that? You think that's an effective method or?
Yeah, that's
Yeah?
an awesome method. I highly recommend that. There's a couple of tools that let you do it really easily. The ones I recommend are Simple Mail or what is it? Simple? Is it Simple
Simple
Mail?
login.
Simple
Simple
Login.
Login.
That's what it is. Proton has a product that will do it. That's included with their like premium subscription. Apple iCloud does it for free, I think, or maybe no. You have to have an iCloud subscription, but you can use. They call it Hide My Email. If you have an iCloud account, I have like 500 emails in that thing. They all redirect back to my main email, but it's pretty nice. I think Duck.com does it for free. If you do like DuckDuckGo or whatever, they do privacy-based email addresses. I mean, there's Gorilla Mail. That's an old one. Shark lasers and all that.
If
There are
you
companies though that they
Go
don't
ahead, Rob.
take. They don't take those domains. I mean, I get refused on Simple Login, and whenever I get refused on the Simple Login domain, I try one of the alternates, and they're all blacklisted. And
Yes. No,
if you
iCloud
own-
has a pretty good success rate. Also, yeah, you can put your own domain in Simple Login. Is that where you were going with that?
I was gonna say, can't you just put your own domain, put a wild card in, right?
Yes. you
And
can.
then when I sign up for stuff, I use that company's name
Yep.
at my domain. And
Totally.
then when they do get breached or something comes up, like, oh, that's where it came from. Cool.
But that
Little
isn't
bit of intel.
anonymous. You should know
It
that.
isn't. That's a good
Yeah,
point. That's a
it
good
isn't.
point.
You
It's more
lose
of me
privacy.
tracking them. Yeah.
The Hide My Email has been the best hit rate for me. I very rarely see someone doesn't allow iCloud.com because the Apple ones, they use iCloud.com. So that's like if you don't allow signups with iCloud.com, you're basically blocking Apple's version of Gmail. So, but yes, Simple Login stuff is cool. Hide My Email is cool. I mean, I think that's a good, if you are going to sign up for Andrew Tate's online university, use a fake name and a fake email. Like, also don't do it. Donate that to a animal shelter or something. But yeah.
donated to an animal
Anyway.
shelter.
Any other final articles before we close out? Oh, there's a 7-zip vulnerability. That's an interesting one we should probably talk about. Patch your 7-zips.
No.
This is actually, I actually see 7-zip in corporate environments a decent amount because companies are like, we want to have encrypted file transfers, right? So basically, the 7-zip app doesn't have a built-in native updater. It doesn't update itself. And there's currently a memory corruption style vulnerability that allows, I think, privilege elevation. They didn't really or I guess it wouldn't be privilege elevation. It would just be code execution. But basically, you know, that binary payload that Defender didn't block, now it can exploit 7-zip. So I guess update your 7-zips. I don't know what platform it affects or if it's all platforms. There's not a lot of details in the article or a CVE, but either way, update your 7-zips.
That seems
If
Any
we don't
other
have any
articles?
news, if we don't have any news, no. I have a plug. Oh, what do you got?
I forgot about that phishing-as-a-service one. So basically, Microsoft took down the phishing-as-a-service ONNX, which is like adversary in the middle. The funny bit in this is in the PDF of the like unsealed document, they have the list of all the domains that the attackers were using, and I found reading through the list of domains hilarious. Some highlights that made it into our group chat were here's some pretty funny ones. There's outlorklive.com. I don't use Outlook. I use Outlork. Yeah, there's like 280 domains in the list. A lot of them are really good. There's, you know, there's so many. Microsoft. There's one that's just like Microsoft and then just like a keyboard mash. There's, you know, there's so many. Verify SharePoint files with the .us. Mike Lowsoft. Outlork. Like, I think Outlork might be my favorite one.
There were some
if
funny ones in that list.
If you are logging into outlork.com, you might be getting hacked.
I just thought that was really good 90s sci-fi.
Yeah.
Well, they even had .biz, .vip. They had a whole bunch of TLDs.
There's a lot of TLDs. I know. They're
Lot of
spending a
TLDs.
lot on domain registrations.
You don't
Let's
spend
spend money
as much
to make
when you
money.
buy in bulk.
It's true. It's as a service. You got to be able to scale. Come on.
Yep.
All right, that's all. That's the only one. There is the Scattered Spider one too, which is like a quick. I just want to throw this in. So, Scattered Spider is a threat actor we covered a lot on this show in the past. They were a really active ransomware group between September 2021 and April 2023. They also did SMS phishing, cryptocurrency stuff. The 5 people were charged, but I think the shocking part about this is almost all of them are based in the U.S. So, like we got Texas, we got Florida, another Texas, North Carolina. It's kind of interesting, like, you know, just to have that, you know, it's rare to see a threat group or an APT or whatever we're calling them, ransomware group, be based mostly in the US, but this one was one that was mostly in the US. So it's kind of interesting. We do see that every now and again.
At least
Can't
they
just
were
block
really good,
China.
right?
They were all in their 20s.
They were
Yeah.
pretty good.
I think there was like
They
a
were pretty good.
16-year-old in the UK that was a part of the group.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the one who got caught early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't just block China and say no more hacks, I guess is the moral of the story.
Who's the kitty, Ryan? Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was muted so you couldn't hear all the noises, but this is Ellie.
Aw.
Aw.
Hi, Ellie.
She's desperately trying to get my attention.
Wade, what's your plug?
Oh, I was going to plug the Secure Code Summit that is going on.
Is it written in Rust?
Only the whole con is written in Rust.
The whole
So
con better be written
The
in
whole
Rust.
con. You have to actually SFTP, and then you get this Rust.
You SFTP. No, I'll message you on Telegram, Wade, and I will
Okay.
send you a Rust binary
All
that
right,
will give you access to the Secure Code Summit.
and then you get going. No, the Antisyphon Secure Code Summit, right? It's on December 4th. I know there's also a bunch of training to go along with it. I'm one of the trainings. I'm teaching my CTI 101 course. It's only a 1 day, but this is also probably going to be the last time it's only a 1 day. I'm going to push it to a 2 coming up next year if it's still there. But just have everyone check it out. Something to do during the week.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Get some live training. Get some knowledge. Write everything in Rust. It's the only option. All right.
I
Thanks,
have
everyone,
learned
for coming.
So many programming languages.
Sorry
All right,
about the
thanks,
live
everyone.
chat.
Yeah, we fixed the live chat. Thanks for bearing with us. I see like the normal people starting to post again, so I'm very happy. Char was with us though. Char just follows us around, knows how to hack the Discord. shout out to Char for just knowing where things are. I couldn't even find it. But yeah, we'll see you all next week. Actually, yeah, we will, right? We're back next week.
Yeah, we should be back next week.
Yeah.
With turkey
Have a good
hands.
Turkey Day, everyone. Or if you're outside
ya.
the U.S., have a good not anyone responding to emails for 2 days.
Have a good Monday / Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.